Hi everyone, my name is Catherine and welcome to my channel. I am right now on a cruise with Cork Expedition, or should I say voyage. I believe it's day 11. We are in Greenland and I am doing their 2 or so week, 15-day Arctic expedition. 3 islands, but we visited a 4th one surprisingly. But the main things that we're seeing is Svalbard, Greenland, and Iceland, and right now we are in Greenland. I believe we have 1 or 2 days left in Greenland before we start sailing to Iceland, and then we'll have a sea day while we're sailing between the 2 places and then disembark in Iceland. So we woke up to overcast, which we've been super lucky so far because we've been getting pretty much mostly clear sunny skies, a lot of days with 0 clouds at all. And all the team has been saying we've been super lucky with the weather and how many animals we've seen and the calm waters. Besides like 1 day / like overnight into the morning, it was pretty rocky and I did feel a little seasick. Other than that, it's been so calm, so beautiful. Let me show you how it looks like. I've never seen clouds so low to where I am, I guess. I usually see clouds like above, but there's like a clear separation. And when we had the announcement that there's low clouds outside, they weren't kidding. But honestly, I don't mind the gloom because I'm from Seattle. It's comforting to me and we've had so much sun so far, so I already feel spoiled enough. And it's kind of nice to see a different change in scenery. As long as it's not windy or rainy or crazy waters, which knock on wood, then I'm happy. But let me show you what it looks like. So this is the beautiful low clouds. But anyway, I've just mostly gotten ready. I just have to do a couple more things and I've just woken up. It's just after 8 a.m. so I'm gonna have breakfast and then I think we're gonna cruise up until or through lunch, and then we're doing hikes after lunch. But I'll keep you posted and film many beautiful scenic spots, which is honestly this whole trip, but just I'll keep you guys updated. So yeah, let's go eat breakfast and start our day. Hey everyone, I'm back. It's not too much later. It's about almost 10 and I'm about to go to a talk that they like to do, which is really nice when we have longer periods of time at sea. A lot of different expedition staff will have talks based on their specialties, like the biologist or the historian or the photographer, things like that. And we're going to go to a talk by Emma, the biologist, about what we're doing in a changing world, which I'm assuming has to do with what we're doing in regards to climate change, which that's like one of my biggest things I'm passionate about is climate change. So I'm very excited to hear about that. But the reason why I wanted to do another clip is because the service here on Cork is really nice. I will say I feel so pampered when I'm on this trip. But I came to like such a cute little surprise I wanted to show you all. So sometimes they will make animals out of towels, and this is so unique. So this is what I just came to. It's literally hanging from a hanger and it's a little koala. And it has little googly eyes. That's so cute. And like a little nose and the ears. It's like so intricate. I passed by our, the person that services our room, because we have the same one throughout the trip, and said that this is so talented. Look at that. That is so cute. So yeah, I'm gonna let it hang up here as long as it can, because it's just by the hanger. But it's so funny and so cute. I'm trying to get its face in frame with me. But yeah, so yeah, everyone said that they're pretty happy to have a chill day for the first half of today, because yesterday was a hike in the morning and then we did a perimeter walk, which was a lot of it was uphill, and so the first half of today will be chill and then we're gonna do a hike, unless, you know, things are always changing, but that's the plan. But anyway, just wanted to show you the koala because it's so cute. Hi everyone, so we've made a change of plans as per usual. We're still doing the same thing where we're going on guided hikes, but instead of doing the previous location, which I honestly don't remember the name of, and even if I did, all of these names are very hard to pronounce because they're in the local language. But for whatever reason, the director or the person that's in charge of what we're doing and planning everything with the captain decided to reroute, and instead we are going to where we'd been before, but I think a different part of it. And it's called it's like a collection of islands, and they're called the Bear Islands. And they specifically said we're going to Bear Island 6 and doing hikes there. Didn't say why they're changing their minds. That's just why they said so. So because of that reroute, we had to go and sail an extra 2 hours. We're sailing at 5 knots per hour, which is very, very slow, to the point where you aren't sure unless you pay attention if we're even moving. Usually ships sail slowly, but especially in this area because we're going through very narrow channels. I've tried to take zoom in on Google Maps when I have enough service, or actual maps around the ship to kind of show the area we're in, but it's very narrow channels, good amount of icebergs, and also it's narwhal breeding grounds, and so we want to be respectful of the wildlife, and I'm sure there's also laws protecting them, but either way, just want to respect the wildlife because there's a lot of narwhals around here. Although ironically, they're the most difficult Arctic animal to spot, and everyone's saying do not expect to see a narwhal. They're so hard to find because there's a lot of different reasons, but I guess the people of Greenland have severely hunted them over the years, and so they've learned to be absolutely terrified of people and of boats, which is very fair. There's not as many regulations on hunting narwhal as there are polar bears or other animals. And it's also just hard to spot them because from afar they kind of look like seals. You would think you would see their horns coming out, but that's not the way they kind of come out. They don't come out horn first. It's more the back. So it's just also even if you see it, you might not know it's a narwhal. So yeah, just kind of those different factors. It's really hard to spot them. So it's on the back of my mind because we've been really lucky on this trip. I literally ran into the chief of operations or something like that. He was telling me he's been on this ship since May 1st, and it's now August 24th, and he's been here this whole season back to back. And he said that, I don't know if he was just being nice but I've also heard this over so many different people, is that we've had the best voyage and the best experience weather-wise and animal wildlife viewing wise of the entire season, and to be very grateful for that. He was saying the last one or a couple of trips ago, the very last day they were sailing, they went out of their way and sailed around land longer to be able to spot their first and only polar bear, whereas we spotted 15 in a 2-3 day span earlier in this trip. Today's the first cloudy day since the first day. So yeah, but at the same time I also had a climate change talk that I went to earlier today, and they were saying 2 days ago it was, what was it, 13 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's 50 or something like that, and that's not heard of. That's climate change right there, because that is a more consistent thing of having those warmer days. And it's really sad. They were saying that the ice water, or think of 6 Olympic swimming pools, fill those up, and that is the amount of melt from the ice that's happening around Greenland. That's happening every second. They're losing that much ice, enough to melt and fill 6 Olympic swimming pools every second. I was thinking, oh no, she's gonna say every day. No, every second. That's wild. But yeah, so anyway, we've stopped, and they said they're gonna start calling people at 3:45, which honestly, that's in just over 10 minutes. I should start getting ready. I think I'm gonna dress slightly warmer today, but every time I've done a hike, I've been overheated, so I'm still gonna try to be quite strategic. But it's overcast and colder today, so I see people outside, the employees or Zodiac expedition drivers. They're scouting the area just to make sure it's clear of polar bears and the terrain is good to walk in. There's no hazards. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get ready, and I grabbed some tea just to kind of warm me up right beforehand. And yeah, I'll probably see you while I'm out hiking. I'm gonna go with the medium group. They always divide us between levels. Chargers are the fastest, and you're just truly hiking. Medium fast, not as fast as chargers, but fairly quickly. Medium is the kind of in the middle, most popular option, and then contemplative is like leisurely walking. And I just do medium because I like to have the storytelling elements that the expedition staff give you when you have the slower pace where you can stop and have story time with learning about what's around, and also photo stops and stuff like that. So, and it's still a good hike. Like, you're still hiking the same terrain. You might just not be going as high up. So anyway, let me show you what the view's looking like. You can see people out there. They've kind of just been stopped. You can see the low cloud. I don't know what part. I only see like a certain side of the ship, like the islands from my balcony, but this is definitely lower than what we've been hiking. So we'll see what it looks like when we're out there. But yeah, not gonna lie, it's been a very slow day, which was nice compared to yesterday. And I did go to a talk earlier today, but the last like 2 hours, I've just been, even though I'm on a trip and I'm traveling and I'm in like the Arctic, I feel like I've been a lot lazier and not moving around as much and not working out. And I've been tired all the time because this trip is just tiring. So I just took another nap and I feel so like bleh. So I'm excited to get outside and like get some exercise in and just feel that energy again and just feel better. Because like yesterday, I always like get a little, not nervous for hikes, but a little bit, I guess. Because, you know, hikes can be difficult and working out, you know, but then afterwards or in the moment just feels so nice. I'm ready to like get out of this sluggish mentality and get some fresh air. So let's go. Hey everyone, I'm back from my hike and I might look a little crazy because it was a light drizzle during the hike, but it was drizzling the whole time and it got a bit more drizzly or intense later on. But we're back and we were out there for about an hour and a half. I was in the medium group again. I just really like the pace of the medium group. It's just in, you know, the solid middle. So, and we still, you know, went over like a good amount of steep things and we had to be really careful with our footing with the slippery rocks, and I tried to get it on camera but I don't know how well it'll show, but the foliage is really beautiful here and we are, by the way, above the Arctic tree line. So there's like a line in the world where if you go north of it, trees can't survive because it's too far north and too cold, and that's why there's no trees here, by the way. But the foliage is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, but also there's like certain parts where you're stepping and it's very like squishy, and I'm not used to stepping on like squishy land. So yeah, it was really good, but it did make me appreciate the fact that other than maybe the first day, we've had no rain and clear skies and good weather, because it's not as ideal hiking in wetness. Things are more slippery and you get wet in general and it's just colder and not as ideal. I just changed back into what I was wearing earlier and we're gonna have dinner at 7 and I'm pretty hungry. I was hungry before the hike, so I'm excited to eat and then we'll have a briefing. And yeah, so that's the plan, but it was all pretty good. We got really close to a muscat. Well, semi-close, the closest I've been. And overall it was good. Hey everyone, I'm just going to end out the video here. It is the end of day 11 of my
14, 15 or so day trip here with my Arctic trip with Quark Expeditions. It's crazy because the idea of this trip coming to an end is starting to hit me a little bit, knowing that I believe we just have one full day left in Greenland, and then we'll have a day sailing from Greenland to Iceland, and then disembarkation day, which isn't a full day. I feel like usually when it's disembarkation day, it like counts as one of the days of the trip because you wake up and you're, you know, still on the ship, but it's pretty quickly. You wake up, have breakfast, and then you get off the ship rather early in the day, so it's not a full day doing the usual activities. So it's kind of sad. Like, in some ways, I feel like I've been here for so long, and when I booked the trip for 2 or so weeks, I was like, oh, it'll go by fast, whereas I feel like I've been on the ship for months. And I could see like me doing an 8-day, you know, voyage, and it would be plenty of time, but at the same time the idea of getting off sounds sad, especially with like the bonding that I've created with people. Me and my friend, it's 2 of us, I think I already mentioned this, but we sit at a 6-person table, and oftentimes people, especially crew members, will sit with us. And tonight we had the bird guy who's like 70 years old, but we've befriended him, and then the on-site doctor was there with another guest, and it was just such fun and silly stories, and they're kind of ridiculous, and we're just laughing, and I had a moment of like, you know, of gratitude being in the present. Like, I am in Greenland with one of my good close childhood friends and these new people that I've met, and we're sailing the Arctic waters, and like, what is life? And I just love moments like that, especially while traveling. So that's why I love to travel. It was just kind of one of those, you know, moments of like, I'm really here and taking in the moment. So yeah, it was really good. And then we had just a general recap, and then we had like a fun little song, like sea shanties, kind of singing what like popular songs were sung on sea ships back in the day. But anyway, I talk forever and make these videos really long. So for tomorrow, I'm really excited because we're actually going to be doing a cultural visit. So we're going to visit a town, and it's not the biggest town in Greenland, which isn't even that big. That is on Western Greenland, but we're visiting a different town, which is around here. So we get to see how local people live, and there's going to be different activities, and I'm just really excited. I have not seen anyone that's not from the ship since this trip started. It's just been us, the ship, and the complete true remoteness, beside the Longyearbyen, which is a city in Svalbard, that I saw other people. But other than that, and that was like day 2 of this trip, other than that, the last week and a half or so, I have not seen any person or any sign of civilization outside of the ship. So it's like we're in our own bubble, but in the vast remote wilderness. And I've never, besides Antarctica, been in such remote places and settings. So it'll be really cool to see the locals and other people. I'm just really intrigued to see how other people live here in such different communities than what I'm used to. Yeah, really excited. I'm gonna get ready for bed, and I'll see you tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, see you later. Bye.